Hey, you can hear me. So I know I haven't made a video in a long time, but I'm gonna get right to it. I'm actually trying to take a nap right now, but something told me I should make this video, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it. So I'm actually taking a nap right now because I'm supposed to be starting an overnight job tonight. So yeah, that's why I was sleeping or trying to sleep, but I gotta tell you what happened. So today is November 3rd, 2020. Me and my twin sister's birthday is a couple of weeks away. I cannot believe our birthday's around the corner because I feel like our birthday just came. Keeping it simple because I do need to go to sleep. For up until about a couple weeks ago, so for about a year, I worked at Amazon, all right? A few weeks ago, I stopped working at Amazon. I would love to go into detail of why that is, but I just don't think it's very wise to go into details with that right now, so I'm just going to say I no longer work there, right? But fortunately, I had some savings. So while I had some savings, I was able to live off of my savings, look for work, and that's how I found the opportunity tonight. However, I just found out that this morning that this opportunity was that I was going to even be working tonight. So let me give you a little recap real quick. So I was actually at work this morning for another job. So stick with me here, all right? I stopped working at Amazon a few weeks ago, all right? I start working at a new job. I just started working at a new job last Wednesday. Yeah, last Wednesday, today's Tuesday. So last Wednesday, right? It was through one of those temp jobs, one of those temp agencies, and I actually found out about this from my sister. I never even got an email or saw it online. It's just my sister told me about it, so that's how I found out about it. So I was super excited. The pay was crumbs compared to Amazon, but I knew, okay, so I have a few businesses that I'm growing, a few online businesses that I'm growing. It's not enough money right now to the point where I can just like work like independent, straight up work on my own full time with those jobs, but the businesses are starting to grow. That's my point. So as my businesses grow, I obviously still need to pay my bills. So that's why I was excited about this opportunity, because I just wanted to have more money coming in because my money was starting to run out. So basically, I start the job last Wednesday it was. So I walk in, the guy, I guess someone who works there, he was using one of those infrared thermometers. Basically, one of those thermometers that is contactless, so they just want to make sure that nobody had a fever, because basically everybody's afraid that everybody has COVID right now. So fortunately, I was good. So I see that everybody's waiting around for the time for the, I guess, the clock to hit 8 o'clock, because the shift started at 8 a.m. 8 a.m. finally comes. Everybody files into, like, because when I walk in, I'm like directly in the cafeteria. Like, I'm just in the cafeteria where everyone's waiting. It's like you walk right into the cafeteria. But then I started following everyone else. Oh, and the guy, one of the I guess office people actually showed me where to go. So I walk in, and immediately I could tell somebody was going to be a problem immediately, because basically the guy, he introduces me. He says, "Oh, hi." So he was telling me, "Okay, so these two ladies are going to be your boss," and he was joking about it. So I guess essentially what he was saying was they're the ones who I would be answering to, right? So There was a Spanish lady, and there was this old, like, I'm just describing her, okay? I'm not being funny. And then there was this old white woman who was, like, obese. Like, and not haha, yo, no, seriously obese. Seriously obese. So the Spanish lady was polite, and she said, or I should say the Latin lady, the Latina lady, she said hello, you know, she was cordial, but the other woman, she just acted like she just didn't look at me. She just acted like she didn't hear him say it. I was like, oh my goodness, like, what the heck? This lady's being shady already. So then he sits me down. He has me report to someone else. And the person I was going to be reporting to was this black lady who, honestly, I don't know. She looks like she's probably my age, and if not, I would say about maybe a few years older than me. I can tell that we're close in age. Or at least we look like we're close in age, because, you know, sometimes black people look younger than they really are, but anyway, she was cool. So the way it works is, so she basically had me sit down. I had to put on gloves. And immediately, I look around and I see that everybody around me are, like, not American born. And look, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just something that I noticed immediately. Like, I immediately recognized that most of the people that were working there, because everyone was at these tables and they were, like, all working on something. This was an electronics company, so the job was basically to assemble, like, all these little tiny nuts and bolts and, like, put them together. No one explained what the purpose of it was, but that was our job. They would place something in front of you and then you would just put all the pieces together. It sounds like a simple job. Like, it sounds like and you got to sit down. Unlike Amazon, you got to sit down. So I was good with it. Like, I was thinking, okay, this is probably going to be okay. I always knew if I were to leave, it was going to be because of probably a negative, because okay, here's the thing about me. Even if the job itself is undesirable, I can stick it out if the environment is, like, decent. But if the environment is hostile and hateful and just mean, I will not be able to stay there, unfortunately. So I always knew, okay, and there's a bunch of women there, all women, over in my area, it was all women. So I knew I wanted to be positive, but I knew that was potentially going to be an issue. And I'll explain why. So I'm going to get to the point. So she sits me down. She shows me how to assemble stuff. I assemble stuff. Now I'm going to get to the juicy part. So I noticed that most of the people there spoke Spanish, or they were African, but, like, African, like, straight up born in Africa. Not African American, but African. And I'm going to just tell you right now, for anyone who's listening to this, if you're a female African American like me, and you don't have a college degree, or you're currently in college, so you can't really use your degree for employment right now, if you ever worked in a warehouse before, you probably have realized and recognized how black females get treated. Specifically black females, how black females get treated by Spanish women. I don't know if you've ever noticed it, but I have, because unfortunately this is not my first rodeo. That's why I think I wasn't really up for the Bolt BS today. But I've noticed that. And also how Native Africans treat black people. I can only say black females because that's all I've known. But they don't treat us right. They give us attitude. And I'm not saying everyone, but I've always noticed they'll treat, as for the Latin people, the women, they'll treat each other well. But when it comes to a black female like myself, there's always that one in the bunch who is nasty. goes out of her way to get under my skin. Every single job, there's always that one person. Most people will be cool, but there's always that one, even non-Spanish speaking, but I've noticed that specifically. I'm going to get to the point because I don't want my battery to, my freaking space to run out. So, first day working there, I noticed that there's this one woman there. I didn't really look at her much because, oh yeah, that was another thing. You weren't allowed to talk there, right? You weren't allowed, which I'm fine with that because if people were allowed to talk, I think I probably would have quit that day because the shade would have probably just been too out of control. So I actually didn't mind that rule. I like quiet. But I noticed that there was this Latin woman there around, if I could guess, she's probably around my age, maybe a little older, I don't know. I would throw shade, but I'm not even going to do it. But bottom line is I can tell she's around my age, give or take 5 years. So I noticed that she was working like super fast. Like everybody else was working at like a decent, normal human pace. She was just rushing through her work, and also she was like also working with one of the supervisors. So it was just, oh yeah, and every 5 seconds, because she has an accent, so every 5 seconds she would say finish, finish, finish. Literally, that's all she would, finish, finish, finish. She would just rush to say finish. Like, I noticed that immediately. I was thinking, okay, I'm near a brown noser over here, but once again, I don't care. I'm just here for my check. So getting to the point, so the first day, and another, this is when I knew she was going to be a problem, right? So, at first, she was sitting near me, right? So she, at a certain point, she pulls out her chair, she pulls out a chair, she pushes the chair past mine, and it bangs against my chair. She didn't say anything. She just kept going. So I looked at her. She just kept going. Didn't say sorry or anything. Throughout the day, other people, they kicked my chair. Like some people kicked my chair. Not everyone. There were a couple people that kicked my chair for some reason. I think it's because I was at like the end of the table. Everybody else, even the ones who didn't speak English that well, said sorry. She was the only one who never said sorry. I was like, wow, what a bitch. I'm not monetized anyway. I don't care. I'll say it. So, the next day, I think I'm skipping ahead here. So, the second day, nothing really, I don't remember anything happening. But Friday, right? Alright, so I was learning how to assemble something, and so I pointed to these pieces when I was speaking to the black supervisor. I said, okay. I said, when I'm done doing this, then I start using those pieces, right? And I was pointing at these pieces that happened to be in front of that shady person, right? As soon as I confirmed that with the manager, she literally, the shady person, hurries up, assembles it, whatever she worked really fast. She basically quickened her pace and pulled over the pieces closer to her. I was just like, dude, how old are we? Like, it was very, very petty. Very, very petty. And I hope I'm not coming off petty in this video, but guys, girls, everybody, she was being petty. From one human being to another, she was being petty, alright? But then I was like, okay, Maleah, just don't sweat it. Just ask the manager for more pieces. Not a big deal, right? So, that already annoyed me. So Friday comes and goes, right? I was thinking, thank you, Lord, I got through that, right? Yesterday was Monday, right? Something told me not to go in there on Monday. I said, you know what? I don't feel up to going in there today. You know, I do deal with social anxiety, so I was just like, bruh, something's telling me not to go in there today, and I go on my gut. Just something was telling me, don't go there today. Do not go in there today. So I called this agency. I came up, I don't care. It's over now. I came up with some BS reason about why I couldn't make it, on Monday. So then, even though it was tough, I decided to come back today because once again, I decided to come back today. So I come in today. The guy, as usual, does the thermometer thing. I mean, not thermometer, but he checks my temperature or whatever. And then he said, "Oh, are you new or you just didn't come in yesterday?" I was like, "Dude, I work here." Like, I was already annoyed by that. I said, "Well, I called the agency. I wasn't here yesterday. I called the agency." He said, "Okay." I'm like, "Why are you, like, in my business?" But I was like, oh my God. Like, okay, anyways, that wasn't even a big deal. So I go to the table that I was working at last week, right? And my name tag is still there, whatever, right? I sit down, and there's this woman who sits down next to me who I wasn't sitting there last week, right? But the same shady bitches at the table, right? Sitting across from me. So a supervisor goes around and gives us gloves, and I don't really, look, I'm not going to even, I don't want to say too much because I don't want to come off petty, but she gave us gloves. And so, in Spanish, okay, so let me explain the way things work. When you, at the end of the day, when the bell rings, if you're not finished on what you're doing, like, let's say you had, like, your whatever task you were assembling, whatever thing you were assembling, you push it to the middle of the table and you put your name tag next to it so the managers know you were the one working on it, right? So the project I worked on Friday, that I assembled Friday, it was still there and my name tag was right there. So this bitch tells the Spanish bitch next to me, "Sorry if you speak Spanish, you're Latin. This is no attack on your culture, but I'm just being honest. This is just how it's coming out natural, so whatever." This bitch tells the other bitch in Spanish to take my stuff, to take my shit and start working on it. So at first, mind you, I'm still new. Technically, this is my 4th day there, so I was like, wait, like, what did I miss yesterday? Like, is she supposed to be working on that? Like, I let it go, because literally the way it was, the other chick, she grabs what I was working on, and she looks at me and smiles, and then she slowly grabbed the tweezers, like she was doing something wrong. And so, here's the thing, there's other Spanish-speaking people at the table, and there's these 2 older Spanish people looking at them like they're not supposed to be doing that. So I was like, okay, I'm not being quiet on this one. So I asked the supervisor for her help. She said, "Okay, 1 second." I said, "Okay." She said, "Yeah, she was like, okay, yeah, I got you. I'm going to get you your stuff." But then I called her name again. She said, "Yes." I said, "No." I said, "I just have a question." I said, "It's not about that. I just have a question." I said, "Quick question." I said, "The project I was working on was right here with my name tag next to it, but she took it." I said, "Is that how that's supposed to go?" She was like, "No." She's like, "But I'm going to get you another one." In my head, I was like, okay. So she gets me more supplies, right? She gets me a project to work on. So then when she comes back to give me my stuff, I said, "I'm sorry." I said, "I'm sorry. I have another question." I said, "Okay, look," I said, I just want to be honest with you right now." I said, and mind you, these people are sitting right next to me. That's fine. They have the audacity to try to play me, so I'm going to go and tell the supervisor what they did. So I said, so quick question. So what happened earlier wasn't supposed to, I said, so quick question. When I have my name tag next to myself, I'm supposed to be the one that works on it, right? She said, "Yes." I said, "Okay," because she told her to take my stuff. So I just wanted to be clear about that. She was like, "Oh." And I said, "Yeah." I said, she's been giving me an attitude ever since I got here. So she's starting to get on my nerves. Yes, I said that. And she said, "Do you want me to move your seat?" I said, "Yes, please. That would be great." So she moves my seat further down the table. And I didn't even tell you guys this. There was this older Spanish lady sitting next to me. literally while I was sitting there working, she was just looking at me. She kept looking at me and inching her seat away from me. I was just like, yo, what the hell is wrong with these people? Like, I took a shower. Matter of fact, I took an hour-long shower. I sprayed up. I have perfume on. Like, it is not even heavy perfume. It's natural, essential oil perfume. So it's not even that kind of heavy, like, coffee, like, making you want to cough kind of perfume. Yo, I'm gonna keep it simple. I went to the bathroom because no phones are allowed. I went to the bathroom, and of course, when I got to use the bathroom, oh, I forgot to say, when the supervisor moved me down to the table, she got that stupid bitch, pushed in her chair, and walked away. And then the supervisor said, "What was that? Like, what just happened?" I was just like, "Who cares? Let that bitch go." But sadly, she came back. But anyways, when I went up to use the bathroom a little bit later, probably like 45 minutes later, when I got up to move, she looked at me, looked to the side. I could obviously see she was like looking at me. So then when I walked past her, I could see her look up and staring at me. And so I just put my middle finger up behind my butt, like looking towards my butt, since I know that's probably what she's looking at. But anyways, long story short, I turned on my phone and I saw that I got hired to work at an overnight job tonight. So at that point, I finished I went back to what I was doing. I went back to the table, finished my project, pushed in my chair, and I walked out. Grabbed my stuff and walked out. But I made sure to finish my project. And I emailed the temp agency telling them that I would no longer be working there anymore. And here's a fun fact. I started with 2 other women on the same day last week. I'm the only one that lasted this long. On the second day of working, one lady walked out 45 minutes in. And on the third day, by Friday, the other black lady was no longer there anymore. It was 3 black Americans. I was that's like the 3 little pigs almost, because the first one left, the second one left, and today I left. And when I tell you I was so glad to see that text message that I was starting tonight, I am still grateful. I don't even know how today's gonna go, but I'm still grateful that this happened, y'all, because honestly, I'm not even a violent person, but I could tell that she was trying to, obviously, she thinks she won. That's why I was thinking about not even leaving until, like, the shift was over, because I didn't want her to feel like she won. But at the end of the day, I'm the one who has to rest up and sleep and work this overnight shift. So I knew I had to look out for myself and make sure I was well rested, but that's what happened. That's the story. And I just wanted to share this with you. And yeah, that's what happened with me. Let me know if you can relate to this video down below in the comment section. Let me know if you've ever been if you're a black female and you worked in a warehouse before. Let me know if you can relate to what I said, because it's a very unique experience. It's a very specific experience that black females go through. And I don't want to make this video too long, but that's one thing that me and like other black females who have worked in warehouses have in common: the way we get mistreated by some of these Spanish-speaking people in these warehouses. And it's always the women. It's not even the guys, it's the women. So I don't know what their beef is with us. I don't know what some of their beef is with us, but we're literally just here to work, not bothering anyone. So I don't know if it's a jealousy thing, a racism thing, or a mix of both. I don't know if this bitch is mad that I'm a black bitch that looks better than her. I literally don't know. I literally don't understand it. But this always happens when I work in an environment with mostly Spanish-speaking women, and it gets really old. But anyways, that's what happened today. All I can do is keep on pushing, and I hope that you had a better day than me. And I hope you never have to go through what I've been through in some of these horrible work environments. But yeah, let me know if you have quit your job lately, or what you hate about your job or what you love about your job down below in the comment section. Bye.